Welcome to the Hard Faith Podcast. I'm your host, Spencer Fulmar, the founder of Hard Faith. I've been working in the film and television industry for over 16 years. On Hard Faith, we're about asking difficult questions about life and faith in an R-rated world. I have my distinguished guest, Autumn Libengood, all the way from Indiana?
Yes, Indiana, Lafayette. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Autumn is a filmmaker, a director, a writer, a producer, and we recently had her at our Hard Faith Film Festival where her film, Bleeding Heart, short film, very powerful film, was in contention, and she was also one of the contestants on our Pitch Fest, as well as on our director panel.
Yes.
And it was so lovely meeting you, and you brought so much joy and energy to the film festival, and just so honored to have you on the show today. Thank you, Autumn.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. And I mean that. And being a part of Hard Faith was absolutely incredible and an amazing experience. And I can't wait for more. So thank you. And thank you for having me today. This is amazing.
Thank you, Autumn. Tell me, how did you find out about Hard Faith Fest and Hard Faith?
Google.
Yeah?
Literally. Well, I was actually on Film Freeway, and I had figured there had to be a Christian film festival that was edgy. So I literally Googled inside the little search engine, put in edgy Christian film festivals, and yours popped up.
Yes, good. I had not Googled that. I've never found someone else, and I'm glad that Hard Faith does show up in that result, because that's exactly what the keywords we want people looking for.
Really cool. And then I started reading. I was like, oh, I think they have my heart. And so them, and then I think there was one other one that came up that I was like, I wasn't sure. And but I was like, I think they capture my heart. And so I submitted. I submitted our first film, yes, and then our second one as well. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And a shameless plug, I've seen that you have already submitted for our first ever New York City Hard Faith Fest, happening December 6th in Manhattan. Announcing today, it's going to be at the Producers Club, which is just a block away from Times Square. We have a great screening room there that I've actually been to for other film festivals. So we have secured that venue, December 6th, and Autumn's going to be there.
Oh, is she?
One way or another, we're going to get you there.
Okay.
I need you at all the Hard Faith Fest.
Yes, I want to be there. Yes, I plan on being there. Yes.
What was your experience like at your first Hard Faith Fest in LA?
It was amazing. I felt very loved and very accepted, which is an awesome, awesome thing. I'm gonna admit it was my first time in LA, so that was the first. Yes, it was my first. I was like, wow, this is big.
That's a lot.
But I've done a lot of like international traveling to like Scotland and Ireland and all that, and so I'm used to travel. It was just LA was just a different experience, and
LA is a wild, wild city.
Exactly. But I felt like that was a separate, like I was able to navigate and all that. But honestly, Hard Faith I just felt like there was a lot of love and acceptance, which was really nice to be around people that actually caught my vision, and I didn't have to feel in fear of being like who I really am. I know that sounds kind of strange, but I didn't feel the need to G-rate myself, and which is awesome. Yeah. And so I met a lot of incredible people, people that I have a feeling I'll probably be in contact for many years. And so I really enjoyed it. It was a wonderful experience. So yes.
I'm so glad. Thank you.
Yes.
That's a nice review. I'm so glad that you had that experience.
Yeah.
And that's something too. Like I never ever submitted any of my films that I made or screenplays to other faith-based film festivals because I just knew that if it had language or if it had any kind of adult content, I would not be accepted, and I'd probably be like, tarred and feathered. And so it's so nice going to someplace that is like a safe place.
Yeah. Nope. I will be. So here's the thing. I've been making films for 19 years.
Amazing.
The Bleeding Heart has been the only project that I've ever gotten into a film festival Christian film festival in my life.
Oh yeah.
We've done secular, great, but never ever Christian. Yep. And so this one, and generally it was because We were too edgy.
Yeah.
I mean, we laugh quite a bit about it. Like, I mean, that's not like I'm shocked or anything. I earned my R's. Okay, let's just put it
Oh
that
yeah.
way.
Oh yeah. I love it. That's great.
And I'm like, even this new one that we're gonna do indentured, I'm like, it's already R-rated. I'm earning it,
Yep.
and that's okay.
Yeah. We're already there. The water's warm.
Might as well embrace it
Yes.
and run from it.
Movie guide will hate it, but that's okay. There's other people out there that we can make this art for.
People want the real and the raw.
They
And
really do.
yes, they do. They want authenticity. Our generation and our world is starving for authenticity.
It's so true.
And so I'm tired of just G-rating everything. I want to be authentic in my filmmaking, and I don't want to lie anymore.
I love that. You
Yeah.
have some great catchphrases. G rating. I've never used that, but I'm probably going to steal it. So G rating my content. I'm not going to G rate myself. I'm not going to pretend to be G rated. And earning your R's. Love that. You're going to see these on t-shirts and you're going to be like, this is familiar.
I know that. I earned my R. That's a Life After, which came before Bleeding Heart,
Yeah.
was a film that I put everything on the shelf. Like I was like, anybody's expectations. I only wanted to please my father, literally. And I was like, something, I'm going to go all in. And if it's R-rated, it's R-rated. I don't really care. I'm going to earn it. And the only person that matters is the Lord and his opinion. And I removed everything else. And there, Life After was born. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
When did Life After, when was that filmed and completed?
That was actually, that was 2000. Hang on a second. I gotta think about it. 2022.
Oh.
And so, however, we filmed it in 2022. It released in 2023. And that was a long one in the making. And not in the sense of, I could go a little bit. So go further back, years and years ago, I made another
Tell me
film.
the beginning. How did you get started? Tell me about your production company. You said you've been making film for 19 years. Tell me about that.
Okay. All right, we'll do that.
How'd you get this crazy calling?
So here, 19 years. I started, and everybody thinks this is so humorous. I started making film because of a band called Demon Hunter.
Ah, I love it. I've heard of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was, a very quiet, shy child, believe it or not. I know that seems really strange, but I didn't talk much. I was severely dyslexic, a lot of trauma, all that kind of stuff. And but one thing I would talk about is I'd talk about story. If I watch a movie, I could critique it. I'd always I love story. It was very, very much part of an ingrained in me.
Mhm.
And I grew up, my parents, I grew up in basically the Jesus revolution,
Oh, yeah.
the radical. My parents were not Christians when they got married and got radically saved when I was like 3. And so definitely raised in a not your typical Christian home. And so it was pretty, it's actually quite an entertaining story, that alone. But I started to do band ministry. And so we had venues, we brought in a lot of bands. In my teens, street ministry, you name it, we did it, a lot of it. And I loved music videos. I just did. That was something I loved. I loved Haste the Day. I loved Stitches by Haste the Day is one of my very huge inspirations. But a band called Demon Hunter released their album, The Triptych. And I heard the last song on the CD at the time, because, anyway, CDs back then. And I was like, I see a little music video. I wonder what it'd take to do that. And I emailed Ryan Clark of Demon Hunter, and 9 times out of 10 they generally pass you on to their manager, but Ryan did not. I said, can I use your song for a music video? And he goes, go ahead. By the way, my wife's name is Autumn. And sweetest moment ever, ever, ever. And little did he know he was going to change my life forever. And so I picked it up, and it was just like I found my calling. I fell in love with it. And at the time, this was 19 years ago. Women weren't in film. I didn't get into it because I was a strong woman or I wanted to be in control. I literally got into it because I love story and I believed in the power of story. And so what I would say, I didn't do the typical, I went to college for film. I didn't do any of that. I literally was like, yep, let's do it. Winning. And I did like 6 films for like in the first I did like 6 or 7 films in the first 3 years. And then I actually decided to do a feature called From Ashes, which I called 101 Ways Not to Make a Movie, but you learn to make a movie.
Been there, done that. I can relate. Yep.
Watch it and go, oh. Anyway, but you learn. And so we did that one, and that's actually how I got my now business partner and my adopted son, Luke. And that's a whole other story, and how I actually got my current team. Yes, we failed at that. Don't get me wrong. We did everything wrong and then some. But I got a team, and an incredible one. And after that, we did another project called, and From Ashes was actually very edgy. What we did was, even though it was not the best production in the world, the story was great, because at the time I actually used language, and it was actually about human trafficking before human trafficking was even known. And I did the male side. So I did that the victims were actually males. And so when I did this really current edgy thing with even his past abuse was his father, who was a pastor, and so I kind of tackled all these different things. After that one, I did another one called Empty Room, which was, again, it was actually the connection between the porn industry and human trafficking. It was by far R-rated.
I bet. Yeah.
That was earned my R there.
You earned yours.
And, oh yeah, I'm just telling you. After that, I actually got really, really sick. And that's part of my story, is that I had a doctor almost kill me. I spent 8 years fighting for my life, literally.
Oh my God.
And I lost my ability to have kids. I lost so much in those 8 years. Oh. And what I would describe as thank you. It was, and now we look back, and I had to testify in that doctor's trial because he killed 2 people. And so it's a miracle that I'm even alive.
Oh my God.
And yeah. And in that season, I literally hung up filmmaking. I literally gave it up because I really felt like I was born with a target on my butt. And if I somehow stepped out of the fight and the battle, Satan would leave me alone. And so I gave up everything. I put it all off to the side. But what I couldn't give up I couldn't give up story. And so instead of writing screenplays and movies, I actually wrote a book. And that book is called Life After.
Boom, full circle.
Exactly. And if it wasn't for one of my teammates, which is BG, my cinematographer, when I started to recover and get better, he actually sat me down. He's like, "Hey, Autumn, I was thinking, that book would make a great movie." And he's like, "Can we take just a chapter of it and try it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, Beach." And anyway, that was a really cute story. And so we ended up, what I would describe is I went back and I picked up the mantle, and I picked up the calling through a series of, because I was very hesitant, very, very hesitant. But I returned back to what I know the Lord called me to do. And so Life After was actually born from that. And so, and that was my first project back into actually making films after a hiatus for 8 years. And so yeah, it's quite a story.
Quite the journey.
Yes.
And you had mentioned earlier on, going back to the beginning, that the Demon Hunters music video kind of changed your life. Can you speak a little bit more to that? How did it change your life? Just finding that passion for filmmaking, or in other ways?
So Demon Hunter, so it was actually Stitches by Haste the Day. That music video in particular changed my life. And then Demon Hunter, the album, changed my life. So Stitches, I would say, I don't know, do you know who Haste the Day is?
Yes.
Okay. They
Not
have
well, but yes.
Okay. There is a music video called Stitches, and it's about you remaining silent while your friend is in torment, and what would happen if you turn around and tell them that they're worth more than this. It's one of the most powerful. It literally, what it does is it takes you through this whole series, and you see like this guy has like stitches intertwined in his mouth while his friend is suffering, whether it was on for drugs or alcohol, and they're watching them suffer, not saying anything. And at the end of the music video, they choose to remove the stitches out of their own mouths and speak.
Wow.
And that music video, I can remember the moment I was in my living room, and there's something called actually Radio U and TVU, which was like the MTV version of Christian metal music. And it premiered, and I was sitting there, and I just remember watching it, and I started to cry because the effect that it had on me changed me. And then like Demon Hunter themselves, like that band right there, they're one of the boldest about their faith. And they're unrelentless about who they are as Christians, but yet they tackle some of the deepest, darkest issues you can possibly do. They go to the dark side without letting the dark side define them. And so when I say
I love that.
When I say like every time I watch Demon Hunter, I listen to them, there's something in me that stirs of a boldness and a passion. And they were like, they're brutal about their faith. They're upfront, but they're also believe in excellence and honoring God with beauty. And so they don't just make like stupid music or stupid art. They put heart and soul and creativity and beauty behind it.
Wow.
And it inspires me as an artist. And I mean, dude, their lyrics are some of the boldest. Like some of their songs, like I heard you call, setting fire to my soul. And it's like every time you hear, like, you can't help but be bold if you're being screamed at that for like for an hour straight. Okay.
Wow.
You know,
I
they're
love that.
about their faith, and I admire them. And I tell everybody, like, when I write, I tend to listen to a lot of music, and I'm like, well, what band that day? What song, Demon Hunter song, do I listen to? That and Rhyme Collective, which is Irish worship, completely different. But so yeah, they were very, very, very instrumental. But I love the passion behind metal music.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to listen to this.
Yes, you must.
You know, music can have such a profound influence. Before I was even a Christian, a singer-songwriter in a very different genre, but his name is John Rubin. Have you ever come across him?
It's John Rubin. What are you dippity doing?
Heck yeah. Yeah. I was listening to John Rubin. My aunt took me to a Christian music festival, and I saw him in Pennsylvania 25 years ago. And I saw John at the Fringe stage, and I just loved his music. And then I was listening to his lyrics, and it was like super deep and super profound. And then it like came full circle for me whenever I like started to take my faith seriously. And yeah, it's amazing what an influence. And like some of his, like, he does just have fun, you know, off the wall music.
Yeah.
But then some of his albums are pretty hard in, you know, their lyrics and their meaning. Like there's this one song called Chapter 1 on Boy vs. the Cynic album. And it just, I mean, I know all the words to that song. I'm sure you know almost all the words to all the Demon Hunter songs.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, and it's so rewarding then to get to know these artists and just share them with others. And I'm sure it influences your writing and your calling.
Oh,
Tell me, what are you working on next?
Indentured. That is what I
heard pitched at the Clark Faith Fest, and you did a great job pitching it.
Well, thank you. Actually, you know how many people came up to me afterwards? It's like, are you sure you don't want to be an actress?
Yeah, I mean, you do have that dynamic presence. You could.
Thanks, but it made me laugh because I was like, no, I'm just passionate. But we're doing Indentured, which is, like I said, in the pitch, that is about the history of the Irish slave trade, that it revolves heavily on really the suffering of the Irish and the power of forgiveness. And honestly, that film hits a different chord even for me. Like Life After is insanely personal. Life After, I feel like I literally like etched my soul in my diary is Life After.
Wow.
Indentured is a passion project for me because I love the Irish so much. And I see a lot of times in history, we have erased their suffering and their pain, and the land bleeds from that. And I want to help restore the land in many ways. Also, the subject line of forgiveness goes back to, like, I wrote it for Ireland, but I put in my journey of forgiveness. I did have to forgive the doctor that almost killed me. I did have to forgive the person that abused me. And what does true forgiveness look like? And is it possible to do that? And what would happen if one person truly forgave and sacrificed their life for that forgiveness?
Yeah.
And so I'm very passionate. I love so another thing that really inspires me as like a filmmaker is actually the history of the saints. And I love St. Patrick and his story of complete abandonment towards the Lord, and just how much he gave himself for the land and for the people, but he actually had to forgive the people that kidnapped and abused him, and then God sent him back to those people. And then
like a Joseph.
Yes. And the forgiveness that had to take place in his heart. But then at the end of his life, he became one with the land, so much so is that he identified with the Irish. He said, they are mine. I am bound to them, heart and soul. And but and the Lord gave him the deliverance of a land for his 7 years of torment. So I don't know if very many people know a lot about the history of St. Patrick, but
that's amazing.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, gee. So St. Patrick was actually he was not Irish. He was actually Scottish. But he was kidnapped from Scotland, forced into slavery into Ireland for 7 years. And then the Lord gave him a dream, and he was able to escape and go back to his homeland. But what happens is that in a lot of Christianese, that's what I would call it, we G-rate the suffering.
Yeah.
So that 7 years is literally 7 years of torment for Patrick. 7 years of beatings, of abandonment, but he came closer and closer to the Lord. And so much so that he would pray, I think, over 100 times a day, and he bonded with the Lord, and he gave his heart to the Lord. And when he set him free, when he got away, the Lord actually gave him a dream of the Irish coming to him and asking him to come and deliver Ireland. And he did. He chose to go back. Now, the church itself tried to keep him out of Ireland. And they actually told him he wasn't worthy, that he was unqualified, all these things. And he said, you know what? My God said, not to listen, I'm going.
I love that.
But so, now after all of that, like, Ireland has become a nation that desperately needs healing, and we want to be a part of that. And so indentured comes from the history of the Irish slave trade, that not very many people know that between 2 and 5 million Irish were taken, killed, or coerced to slavery from Ireland to America, and the land is still broken in many ways from that. So that's what the ultimate heart of the story is about.
Man, that's a powerful project.
Yeah.
It's potent. It's potent. I've already heard the pitch before. I've read some of your materials, and just hearing it again, I'm like, dang, that's a story.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead. What's that?
I said I never pick easy stories.
No, there's no reward in that.
No, there isn't.
No.
Give me the crap.
I know. What's your process like as a director? How do you get into this story? How do you make all these short films? And
how do I get in on my?
What's your process?
My process would probably be when I'm writing first. So like I said, Life After, Bleeding Heart. I mean, we'll give a little rough overview. Bleeding Heart, Life After is about trauma from sexual abuse and healing from that. Bleeding Heart is about depression and suicide. You know that, but just for the listeners and stuff. Life After, I wrote it literally when I had one song on repeat, which is actually Unconditional by Run Collective. And I pray, obviously, before I ask for the Holy Spirit to lead and guide and direct. That is, to me, there's no point in doing anything else unless you have the Holy Spirit there. So writing it, then Bleeding Heart, actually, like Life After took a little bit longer to write. Bleeding Heart was literally a download. In 30 minutes, that's a whole nother story. But so we did so that I would say the writing process is you have to kind of get into the realm of what I would say the spirit. What does the Lord want me to say? How does he want me to say it? And then I write it out, and then I give it to my team, and then I let them critique it, and then we kind of go from there. As far as I have to get generally inspired. I watch a lot of like behind the scenes documentary of like British TV. I'm not gonna lie, like that's always gonna come up in every interview I ever do. What do you get it most inspired by like your stylistic? It's always British TV.
Give me some examples.
Patrick Melrose, Broken. I love Slow Horses. I love there's a lot of Slow Horses is a completely different genre, but Broken, Patrick Melrose, Shetland is another one that I deeply inspired by. Unforgotten is another one that is like, they're stylistic, their emotions are darker, everything is deeper, everything goes, what I would describe as there's 3 levels of a human emotion. This is actually what my professor told me, because I did end up going to Bethel for a little bit.
Nice.
But for writing. So, but there's 3 levels, and Americans like to hang out on like level 2. Brits go to the level 3. And so I like the dark, deep, and that British TV seems to be that dark, deep. Everything is raw and real.
Yeah.
And so it's authentic. It feels like you're really there. So I tend to watch a lot of British TV, even like to understand their camera angles and their subliminals. So I go into that kind of process of like, what do I like from this? What do I like from that? And I pull from what I do, what I like and what I don't like. I love subliminal messaging behind every single shot. So when I sit down, I'm like, this is what I want to portray. Life After, I can tell you there's things I did with that camera that are so particular because I want to do subliminal messaging behind every single shot, and everything has meaning. Same way with Bleeding Heart, whether it was that, the camera was moving a certain way or coming in a little bit, everything had a meaning behind it. So I gear up for that. In Dentured, I'm actually doing something a little bit different, where there's movement to the camera to bring the feeling of trauma to this one character, and then pulling away when this other character comes in because they bring stableness. And so it's a lot of that kind of deep subliminal messaging.
I love that.
So that's something I really push myself to do, is to understand the camera as your second actor and really understand that. So there's a lot of different processes of it. I don't even know if any of that's what you needed to hear, but that's...
Oh yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I love that intentionality behind every shot, because you're so right. I mean, like how the camera moves, where you put it, what you do with it. It is, like you said, another actor in the film.
It is. And if you ignore that, then I think it's a flat movie. Like if I watch, I think Broken was, so as I was sick, Broken was something that I watched when I gave up filmmaking. However, I still watched the behind the scenes, and they taught me the meaning of holding it for 3. So you feel awkward. Like there's a point when you're making movies or you're watching a movie, there's this awkwardness that and your immediate reaction is to yell cut.
Yeah.
And they're like, don't.
Right.
Count in your head, like for 3 extra seconds at least, to pull into the emotion.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I always keep in the back of my mind. Even if I feel like calling, hold it.
Yeah.
and wait. And those are some of my best choices as a filmmaker. And
Ah,
so, and
I love it.
it's a lot of detail.
Yeah, that's so good. That's really good. Man, I look forward to rewatching your films to appreciate all this anew. It's incredible how much goes into filmmaking. I mean, my wife is always like, you really could have done anything else and it would have been easier and paid more. And I was like, I know. It's a crazy industry. And then even like watching shows that are about our industry, like The Studio on Apple, which is like a crazy off the wall comedy with Seth Rogen. And then we just finished The Franchise, which is like it's like an HBO show, but it's kind of like British and takes place in the UK, and it's about making superhero movies, which just like, oh my gosh, it just like it would kill me. But man, there's so much that goes into this. And for you, having taken an 8-year hiatus, not chosen, what brings you back to continue to make films?
The Lord.
Yeah.
That I can truly say it was the Lord and it was the calling, and it's the power of story.
Yeah.
I love story so much. I believe that story has the ability to set free a nation. I think it has the ability to deliver. And actually, to me, it has the ability, and this is something, I'm not going to take credit for this one because this is a teacher that Ray Hughes told me this one time. Story has the ability to push a generation in either direction, whether that was for the good or for the bad. So what are you going to do with the power of story? So I believe story is just, it's there, and we have to utilize it. And if that means going back into the calling, I will do it. It pulls me in. And I feel like when you said you and your wife are like, there gotta be something easier. I feel that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Just wants to buy a little shop in Ireland and retire and sell jewelry for the rest of my life, and that's it.
Yeah, anything else. Paint houses, pump gas, get ditches, just anything. I mean, obviously, we're very blessed to make films,
Yeah.
But man, it's hard. It's so hard.
So hard.
It's like climbing Mount Everest every time.
Goodness, I felt like
Gracious.
around.
Yeah.
You're like, what else could happen? In this last one, because I believe in spiritual warfare. I feel like this last one, once we said yes, Satan made the battle a little bit more personal. And it just feels like every time I've turned around, something else has happened. And I'm like, I was just texting Luke the other day. I was like, is the deliverance of Ireland worth it? Let's pray about that. No, I mean, he's fighting this battle really personal. And
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard.
so
It's hard to
hard.
get funding.
Yeah.
It's hard to get everything. It's hard. And so but again, I believe in story, and I know story changed my life, and I want it to do the rest. I want it to do that for everybody else. So that's my heart.
I love it. What's been the response to some of your films, whether at Hard Faith Fest, other film festivals, audience responses?
I have 2 responses. Either people ignore me completely or people love it.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. Generally, honestly, we've been really blessed to have some incredible feedback. But I have noticed that there are the ones that it touches a little bit closer to home and it makes them awkward and they want to avoid the conversation. Or you have the ones, so we showed Bleeding Heart actually at my statewide pastors conference, which I'm part of the Assemblies of God.
Wow.
And we showed it to a room of over 350 pastors. And we did have, I think it was 3 pastors come forward for healing. And so we have had action, a lot of action. A lot of people have stepped forward for healing for that. So I would say we've had a lot of great feedback as a whole. Life After has brought, I would say, healing into people's life. And what we describe as our films give you permission to step up and speak your pain. It's not necessarily you're not going to do the sinner's prayer, but you're going to step up and take that first step towards healing and deliverance and freedom. And so I'd say we had Life After had a couple people walk out of the theater. That's okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what's that response like? Like whenever you get the negative response and the
Well,
naysayers.
it was just there's this one little spot, and I think everybody thinks I'm gonna cross the line. I don't,
Yeah.
and I think everybody thinks I am, and so it's a little bit, it's a tougher subject because you're dealing with sexual abuse and rape. And so some people, that is a raw and real human emotion, and so it scares them.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Then I as a filmmaker, I've learned to say, it's not made for everyone, and that's okay. I pray that it someday brings back, and it does bring them healing and all that. But as a whole, we've been pretty well received, except Life After didn't make it into any Christian film festivals.
It's not always a bad thing.
No, it's not. I kind of was like, it's all good. It really is. I honestly don't care. And I know that just sounds weird, but I don't.
No. Yeah, in fact, my last 2 films have been the only ones that have made it in any film festivals. It was Bright Sky, who had one of your actors you're going to work with, Sharon.
Yeah.
I love Sharon. Yes, and she's such a joy to work with, and it's just
Oh my gosh.
amazing. And then we did a Christmas movie, and it wasn't too, dealt with a hard subject matter, but it was still PG. So it's been fun meeting all these other Christian filmmakers. Because it's like we're on our own separate branch in between like the faith-based world and just everyone else.
Yep.
And there's not that many of us. I'm always encouraged to meet other like-minded individuals, people on a similar calling whenever we do the Hard Faith Fest. It's one of the most rewarding aspects of it.
I agree.
But there's just, it's like, mostly I hang out with just filmmakers. And then I also get to meet like, my cousins and brothers and sisters in Christ that are making, just the traditional faith-based films, which is fine. We all have our own calling.
That's their calling. It's okay.
So it's been eye-opening. Like I've started to attend some other faith film festivals just because I've been putting on a film festival and never attended any of the other ones. And I'm like, okay, oh, I see what you're doing there. I get it. I get it.
I didn't even go to like a Christian film festival until this year. And then I won the International Christian Film Festival, and I was like, first one I ever attended, first one I ever got accepted to, and first one we won. I was like,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
ICFF. That was my first Christian film festival too, for Bright Sky 2 years ago. And I was like, wow, this is a whole new experience. Hello, everyone.
Did you go?
I didn't go this past year, but I went like 2 years ago.
Okay. All right. I missed that one.
Yeah.
They didn't Life After.
Well, we didn't win anything, so.
Okay.
They let us screen, but, that was the end of it.
That's actually really cool. I mean, it was a really cool experience. So, and then after that, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of nice going to the film festivals and meeting other people and meeting, it was fun. It was actually, and my pastor's actually the one that like pushed us to go, or we probably wouldn't have went.
Good job, Pastor. Yeah, it's interesting, going to film festivals. Like I'm going to Content at the end of this month in Texas, and that's a really great film festival. Bright Sky was in it last year, and then they have welcomed us to do a Hard Faith workshop each year. And so this will be my 3rd year. The first year I wasn't able to do it. I had to do it virtually because our daughter was just born.
Okay.
And then this year I'm doing a 3rd edition of my Hard Faith talk.
Really cool.
Yeah, so that's super nice. I might try and attend ICBM this October. I've never been, but I've heard people speak.
Which one is that?
I think it's in Florida. I really don't know too much about it, but people are super jazzed about it. I'm definitely going to attend on December 6th in New York City, Hard Faith Fest.
I am too there.
Boom. Yep. So definitely gotta check that one out.
Attend that one because, well, we belong.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, it's fun to meet other filmmakers too and just learn about their process, because like even making a movie, it's still like the Wild West, especially in the independent film world. Like how you put together the finances, how you put together the production. Such a blessing that you have a team that you're able to work with on each of the films.
Yes.
Has the team grown, changed, stayed consistent?
We've had a few in and outs,
Sure.
but which are not like bad in the sense of, oh, we got left on terrible terms or
Yeah.
anything. One was a little bit of a rougher term, but that was difference in not really even creative. There was just a personality conflict, and so but as a whole, it's always Luke and myself as the two, like, as the leaders, and Luke is like, when I first accepted Luke, he was 13. And he was the little kid that came up to me at church and I was doing From Ashes, and he's like, I hear you're making a movie. Can I help you edit it? And I was like, sure, kid, why not? And so we learned together, and then I kind of took in him as, like, I was the surrogate mom. It's a long story. But now he's 28, and so we make films together. I do like the casting and the really, I held all the auditions. I picked the cast and the crew. I write the scripts. Luke always reads everything, all that. And then we have John Snowden. Actually, John came to us because of a screening of Life After. And he went really high up in the ranks really fast. He started out as, were you just going to be a PA? And then he was like, I'm like, by the way, we need this. Oh, wait, now you're assistant director. Oh, wait, now you're a producer. And
That's great.
John is a really good guy. And then my pastor actually has done the role of executive producing. And so he's helped us with a lot of, like, financial, picking out, like, the final details, things like that, which is a really, really good thing. And my pastor is just as edgy as I am. I adore him. Yep. You don't have very many pastors that embrace, and he's seen my calling and he embraced it and he didn't run from me. And even when I was looking for a place to hold a premiere for Life After, my edgiest film, we went into his office, and at the time I had decided if he was my pastor, I was testing, and I needed a place for the premiere, so we were like, let's show Jeff and see what he says. And as we stepped out and let him watch it alone, Luke looked at me and he said, we're gonna find out real fast if this is your pastor or not.
It was a good way. It was a good test.
We're gonna, like, test the waters. And then we went back into his office, we sat down, and he looked at us and he said, not only was that one of the best things I have ever watched, and I would be completely honored to host that at my church, have you thought of this? And it was something with the plot that we needed to tweak, and Luke and I hadn't really, and he helped, and it was great. And so it was perfect. And so that's great. And now I gained BG is one of my cinematographers. Then we work with another cinematographer named Johnny. We flip between the two, depends on who's available, that kind of thing. Both very gifted men. Then I've had Carolina on my set, a couple different makeup artists, and now we have a new guy named Brandon, and he's doing another camera assist. And so we have a great team. So I would say we've had a couple coming in and out, but as a whole, it's pretty much always been Luke, BG, and myself as the main people, and then kind of filled in when we needed to. But I think we'll keep John and Brandon around and Jeff around for a while.
That's great. I love that. It's so great whenever, like, each film I make, it's like if I can find 2 or 3 new collaborators to work with, that's amazing. Like, maybe I only find one, maybe I'll find a handful, but, you know, it's whenever you can work with people that get your vision and that easy to work with and, like, and trust and rely on. Yeah, it is such a
priceless.
Yes, it's priceless.
It is. I mean, I've known BG for 15 years, and I can literally go, no. And okay, I'll go get that angle. And I'm like, thanks.
Thank you. Where are you filming indentured at? Is it going to be in Indiana? Are you going to go to Ireland?
So the short will be in Indiana. If we do the feature, it would be half in Ireland and half in Indiana. And so, but the short itself actually takes place in it would be after they've left Ireland and are in America. And then so we bring in actually the Underground Railroad. And so that's where Sharon's Park comes in. And so we have that. We have our cabin in the woods. We have everything. We just don't have the money yet.
It'll come. One way or another.
I don't know. I could think about selling some organs, but anyway.
Keep those organs. It'll come.
I don't really have any good left. Any of them that are good that are left. But anyway, no.
It's incredible how financing comes together. It's always somewhat miraculous.
I'll tell you one thing,
and
I've got more gray hairs from that financing than I care to admit.
gosh, I know. Like whenever filmmakers, want to make a film or they want to get into this industry, I just give them the disclaimer that, like, as Orson Welles said, 90% of filmmaking is fundraising. Especially as a producer, executive producer. So,
Yeah.
If you don't know sales, you're going to have to know sales in
Yeah.
some capacity because, you're going to pray it in, and it's going to be, you never think you're going to make it, and somehow you make it, and somehow you're on set, and then you get to share the film and story with everyone.
It's
a lot of faith.
We were super blessed with Life After. We literally we needed $15,000. We raised it in 3 months.
That's amazing.
And then Bleeding Heart came. We needed 13,000, and we raised enough to film it. And then we raised the remainder while we edited it. And we got all of it. Indentured has been a completely different one. And granted, budget's bigger, and we're dealing with British actors because we have 4 British actors coming. So it's been a little bit more challenging as far as visas and all that kind of stuff. And so it's a whole different ballpark. But funds have definitely been a little bit more challenging.
Some way it'll come.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was thinking about playing the lottery, but I don't know.
It is quite high right now.
Yeah. 2.3 billion. I don't know, I can make a couple movies after that.
Exactly. I remember when I was in seminary, one of my classmates, he bought a lotto ticket, and he's like, "Now, Lord, I could do a lot of good with this money if I win." And he started to scratch it off in class. And he was like, "Well, I guess that's not how it's going to happen."
Yep, that's not how it's going to go.
It could have been great, God, but I guess you have other plans.
Guess you want me to use my faith.
Yeah, right. And the whole bunch of sweat equity. But, you know better than I do.
I guess you want me on my knees. I've been debating on pleading with the Lord. I've been bargaining with him. Come on, Lord. No.
Oh man, one way or another.
One way or another, somehow, some way.
Autumn, how can our audiences stay connected with you? What are your links? How can they follow your journey? How can they help?
Okay, so Instagram is Awaken the Dream Productions.
I love it.
And then Facebook is Awaken the Dream Productions, but it's like Awaken the Dream PROD. Because Productions wasn't available. But anyway, so that is us. We also have Life After short film. You can also follow us on there. We don't update that as much as Awaken the Dream. You're also welcome to follow my own private one, which is Autumn Libengood. So yeah, that's how you stay up with it. We also have an email list that there's a link to in our. I'm trying to remember. There's a link somewhere that Luke told me. Can you tell he handles the technical side of stuff? No.
Good to have that guy.
Yes, it's a link. I'll have him put it on our Instagram there.
Perfect. It'll be on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Awaken the Dream.
Yeah, it's Awaken the Dream. And then our email address is awakenthedreamproductions@gmail.com.
Tell me about the company name.
Awaken the Dream is actually, so that came to me before I do what I do now, which as obviously filmmaking is my second job because my first job is actually making jewelry. And yep, that's what I do, a small business owner. Before that, I actually worked in housekeeping for my church.
Oh, that's great.
And I was young. I was cleaning the bathroom, and I was praying because that's what you do when you clean the bathroom. And and I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do? What kind of name do you want me to give my company? And it literally was like it was dropped in my heart. Awaken the Dream, because I want to awaken people to their dream and their futures. I want to awaken people to his spirit. I want to awaken people to healing and redemption. So Awaken the Dream really just kind of poured that out And I was like, and it's stuck. And I've been there. We've had that company since From Ashes as the name, and I love it. It's just, to me, it is what it is. To me, it's just perfect.
I love that story too.
Yeah, cleaning toilets.
Yeah,
that's how you always, like, I tell everybody, you want to learn servanthood?
Yeah,
go be a housekeeper.
so true. That's awesome. I love that story. Well, Autumn, thank you so much for being on the Hard Faith podcast. So glad we got connected, and can't wait to follow along your journey and see you at film festivals.
Thank you. And thank you for putting on Hard Faith and being a trailblazer and really stepping forward. I really do. That means so much to production companies like me and myself and my son. So thank you for everything you've done. And thank you for reading our pitch deck and all of that.
It's a great pitch deck.
Really.
Absolutely. Yeah. I look forward to following along with the journey, and I'm so glad got connected through Hard Faith.
No, it's gonna be awesome, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, Autumn. Thanks so much for listening to the Hard Faith podcast. Please subscribe and share. Visit hardfaith.org to learn more.